like you said, started at St. Joe's, had a lot of success there, been around a lot of great people, and then went to Ohio State, same story. Had a lot of fun, been around a lot of great people, got coached by some great coaches, and then to go into Portland 1 year at Syracuse and to have the year that we had, it was a lot of fun. And so being here right now, it's a little surreal. It was a dream growing up, and so just trying to soak it all in.
Working under Jeff Nixon, how big has he been developing for your career and then the season that you have?
Coach Nixon's awesome. I mean, I could go on and talk days about just how smart he is. I knew it from the first moment that we sat down, we watched film, that it was going to be a fun year. Obviously has a ton of success from college into the NFL, and just being able to sit down and pick his brain about things was a lot of fun, and then obviously playing for him was even more fun. So, yeah.
There are a number of guys that that you grew up with in the Philly area, here at the Combine. You've got Will Howard, who is at Downingtown. How cool is it to have two quarterbacks from the Philly area and representing and doing that on the biggest stage?
Right. I mean, I think there's always been talent there, and so now it's cool to see guys like you said, myself and Will, and then there's going to be a few more guys coming up to go on and have success at this level. And so, like I said, I think there's always been talent there, and so now it's cool just to see us, get recognized.
What was the best thing about playing at Syracuse last year for you?
Say that one more time.
What was the best thing about playing at Syracuse for you last year?
I mean, I knew regardless of if I was at Ohio State or Syracuse, I was going to make a big jump from year one to year two. I was very confident in that. And so I think having a year of experience starting at Ohio State under my belt, I don't think you can get much more prepared than that. I mean, that's a great experience. And so just using that and learning from it, I was super critical watching myself from Ohio State and attacking the areas that I need to improve upon. And, just the success that I had last year really wasn't a surprise to me. So just what I went through at Ohio State, and then just using all of that to help me out at Syracuse.
How tough a decision was it to leave Ohio State?
Yeah, no, it wasn't easy. When you pour 3 years of blood, sweat, and tears into a program, and you create a lot of great relationships there with the players and the coaching staff and the support staff. It wasn't an easy decision to leave, but I think it worked out for me. It worked out for them. So I think all around it was the right thing to do.
How much did you watch their championship run, and what were your thoughts while watching it?
It was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, obviously, those are my guys, and so seeing them accomplish that goal was sweet, knowing how bad they worked for it. And so, like I said, I mean, I had a great year, and they had a great year, and so, it was just cool to see everybody win, to be honest. I mean, after we lost to Michigan, it really wasn't on my radar at all, to be honest with you. It kind of transpired pretty quickly over that weekend, the conference championship weekend. And then I know most guys get in the portal and know where they're going to school. That wasn't the case for me. Like, I got in at literally no clue where I was going to end up. And so put my name in the portal at midnight on that Monday. And then Coach Rand was sitting in my living room the next day. So the turnaround was pretty quick. And it's like, college or high school recruiting on steroids, because you have to make your decision in a week or so. So, I mean, it was definitely a wild ride. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it wasn't an easy conversation, and he's someone that I respect a ton, and so, I'm going to keep the details of all that kind of, private, but, like I said, it was cool seeing him win, and then, I know that RJ Day, actually his son, reached out to me and congratulated me on a great season as well, so, I know people try to make it seem like, we hate each other or whatever, but that's not the case at all. So, I know I was rooting for him all season long, and I know he was rooting for me as well.
I know that Ryan Day likes you, respects you as a player and a person. Was it just not maybe a great fit, or at least maybe not the timing was right? I mean, how do you kind of look at that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first person to admit, I didn't play my best football at Ohio State, and I knew that. And, I think a lot of the mistakes looking back on it was just, year one starting mistakes, which, was kind of, I wouldn't say expected, but, not the craziest thing in the world. And so, like I mentioned earlier, when I went back and I was watching the film, coming into like this time last year, I knew all the mistakes were correctable, and so I really attacked it. I was, completely, honest with myself and knew what I needed to improve upon, and so that's exactly what I did.
Was it nice playing at a place like Syracuse where they care, but it's not the fishbowl that Ohio State is?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, once you play quarterback at Ohio State, you're sort of always under the microscope, regardless of where you go. And so, going through and playing 3 years and starting for one at Ohio State, you just kind of carry that same mentality around. You kind of just assume that you're under the microscope everywhere you go, and so it definitely helps you for the NFL because it's just like that. I mean, it's damn near NFL program. So just carrying that experience wherever I go.
What about the difficulty of leaving those people you had a long relationship with? How do you go about building new relationships with new teammates, new staff members, and doing so quickly and trying to become a leader of Syracuse right away?
The most important thing for me was just to showcase my work ethic off the bat. And so whether that was being the first guy in the weight room and the last guy to leave or watching extra film, whatever it was, just making sure my teammates see that. And then on top of that, I think the second most important thing was just creating those relationships with guys. And so, when you're in the game and you need to get on somebody, they know it's coming from a genuine place. And so, it happened pretty quickly. We spent a ton of time around each other. And, I think obviously the result, going 10 wins, finishing top 20 in the nation, showed itself.
Can you tell me
holding the ball too long, you said? Yeah, I mean, I think when you're in the pocket, there's definitely a benefit to getting the ball out on time, making the defense swarm to a 4-yard catch, and, 4-yard catch can turn to 7, 8, plus yard gain. And so there's definitely benefit to that, but at the same time, you watch the biggest plays in the biggest games, a lot of them are off-schedule plays. And so if the read's not there, you go 1, 2 to 3 and it's not there, if you can get out and extend plays and make the DBs cover for 6, 7 seconds down the field, the success rate of an explosive goes through the roof.
What have you thought about this draft process?
What's that? I'd say I like watching Burrow a lot. CJ Stroud, because obviously I was with him at Ohio State. And that's hard not to say. I'd say it's a tie between Mahomes and Allen. Those are probably the two that's a tie.
What have you learned about this draft?
You're passionate about off the field?
Golf. Yeah, I love the golf. Mecca Buka and I started golfing, I think, our sophomore year at Ohio State. And so that's kind of been my thing off the field ever since then.
What have you thought about this draft this weekend? What do you think your rating should be?
If I get 70 plus, I'm happy with that for year one.
What have you thought about the draft process, how teams look at you, and kind of how they go about looking at quarterbacks in general?
Yeah, I mean, I'm confident what I put on tape all year long, and so the draft process, it's a wild ride. Just in terms of meetings and training and workouts and coming to events like this, it's definitely a wild ride. So I've just been trying to enjoy it. Obviously, it's you only get to do it once, and so. Just having fun with it, and that's the biggest thing, just being in the moment and enjoying it.
Did you know Will Howard growing up in the Philly area?
A little bit. So he's from outside of PA, and then I was from Jersey, so we crossed paths a little bit, but not too much.
Did you talk here? Have you talked here much? And
what's that?
Have you talked here?
Yeah. So we talked at the Manning camp because we had a little bit of a relationship before that. So we talked at the Manning camp before the season started, and then this was the first time since the season I've seen him.
What did you think of how he played? And was there ever a time last year you thought could be me?
Yeah, I mean, I think he played great down the stretch. I mean, it's hard to argue a national championship, and I think he got better as the season went on, and it seemed like he played his best football in the biggest games.
What was the hardest part about being a first-year starter, and then what got easier in year two? How much did confidence help?
I think the hardest thing about being a first-year starter is you kind of are learning by trial and error, and your errors are in front of millions of people, and you're learning on the fly, you're learning in game, and you're learning how to bounce back from an interception or a misread or whatever. It's one thing to do it in practice, but it's another thing to do it in front of 100,000 people in a top 10 matchup. And so just learning from experiences like that and growing, and then going into year two, understanding that mistakes are bound to happen, and it's just all about how you respond. And so I feel like I did a really good job of that this year, just playing with a lot more confidence, a lot more I think freedom in my game, and so just using all of that experience to help me going from year one to year two.
What part of the production
I would say just our 2-minute operation. That was something that we took a lot of pride in throughout the week, and I think you look throughout the season, whether it was end of half, stealing a possession and putting points on the board, or end of game when it mattered, we always came through as an offense. And so being able to say that, practice truly translated to the game and all that preparation you put in really paid off was pretty cool to see.
What's Ross Douglas like as a coach, and how did he help you guys have the kind of coaching you guys have?
Yeah, Ross is the man. He is a receivers coach, but he could coach anything on the field. And so I think his experience that he went through with Belichick in New England definitely carried over, and he was a big reason for our success in the pass game. Last year at Syracuse, just had a ton of concepts that he wanted to put in every single week, and I know the receiver room, you look at their play from 2023 to 2024, elevated through the roof, and made my job a lot more easier.
Are you meeting the Browns?
Browns guy? I grew up a Jets fan, but
I'm sorry, did you meet?
Oh, did I meet with the Browns? I did, yeah, I did.
Kyle,
Yeah,
come on,
yeah.
bro.
So that was the first time I think I met Stefanski. Was at the Shrine Bowl in Dallas. So it was cool kind of catching up with somebody who, is a NFL coach, but also grew up in kind of the same background that you did. So it was a cool conversation. We went on for about 15, 20 minutes.
Kyle.
What's the most important thing about this whole entire experience for you?
I think that's a good question. I would say growing up, you watch, you watch things like the NFL Combine and guys' pro days, and you're like, man, I can't wait to be in that position. And then to be here, it's definitely surreal. I remember when I first landed here on Tuesday, seeing Lucas Oil Stadium and all the Combine stuff. I was like, wow, I'm really here. So that's probably the coolest thing about it, is just kind of seeing those lifelong dreams come true.
How did you become a Jets fan, and have you met with them yet?
So my whole side of my dad's family is from Long Island. My dad's a Broncos fan, though, because of John Elway, but my dad's brother's a Jets fan. So we'd play 2-on-2 in the backyard, me and my uncle against my brother and my dad. So they would always be the Broncos and we'd be the Jets. So I just kind of picked it up naturally. And then right when I started playing football in kindergarten, first grade, is when they went to back-to-back AFC championships. So just picked it up from there. I wear number 6 because of Mark Sanchez. So yeah.
Last one for Kyle.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
What was it like meeting Coach Glenn, who also played for the team?
I didn't have a formal with them. I just met with some of their scouts in Dallas.
Kyle, other than football and golf, what is something that you love that a lot of people don't?
It's going to be a little bit of a weird answer. My mom's going to be proud of it. Logic puzzles. So I grew up doing a bunch of logic and kind of game puzzles growing up, and I still do it every day. So something that I nerd out over a little bit.
Thanks, guys. That's it for Kyle.
Thank you.